The wrong thing here is about the first name. First name written like M. So it could be Maria, it could be Michael, it could be anyone. So always you have to, it's simple thing, but it happen, I mean. So don't write then just first letter of name. Also, you have to write the hospital number and NHS number of the patient. It's important. And again, so it's here the wrong thing that we or the doctor write the name in just one letter. Then no NHS number. The last part or the lower part is okay. So the hospital site and the consultant name and the word. So it's okay. The second error, actually not error here. So how to write the allergies part. So you have to record any allergy, the date, then what's the medicine. For example, here there is penicillin. You have to write the type of reaction. So the type here, anaphylaxis. If you don't know what's the type of reaction, you have to write unknown. The second one, as we said about the names of patients, also the names of medication, don't use abbreviations. It's like ISMN, for example, here. You have to write the entire name, isomononitrate. So you have to write it entire. All other things is okay. BO, by mouth, the date is okay. Frequency, BD, which means twice a day. And the doctor circle the times, 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. Also, maybe it's good to note that we use generic names for any medications. So when you look in BNF, use the generic name, not a brand name. Only in a few cases, few exceptions. For example, when BNF itself told you to use a special brand name. So the rule to use generic name. But if BNF told you to use special brand name, you have to use this. The next thing, you have to write the full name of medication. For example, Adalat, long acting, you have to use LA. Don't just write Adalat. So here, you have to write entire name. Also, sodium valproate. For example, MR, which means modified release, you have to write MR, like what we highlighted here. So always write the entire name. The next one, Stalevo is medication, combination of medication. You have to write them here in this part, as I highlighted here. So write that brand name and write what it contains. The next one, and the most common mistake, and the most common thing you have to be aware, don't write U for unit. Simply, don't you write U for unit. Why? If units here, the doctor writes 6 units, and 6U actually, not 6 units. So it's easily could be translated as 64. So here the right thing, 6 units. Again, for fluid medications, don't use ml, and you have to use milligram in ml, like here, 40 milligram in 5 ml. The next one, if the frequency of the medication changed. So for example, here for amiodarone, first week, we have to give it thrice. The second week, we have to give it twice. The last week, or the for 1 week, we give it once a day. So you have to explain this in indication part, right? Amiodarone, then TDS, which means thrice for 1 week, PD, which means twice 1 week. When you cross any part, mean you will not give medication. When it's empty, mean you will give. So the first part here, for about prednisolone, for 7 days you have to give prednisolone 30 milligram. Then you will give 10 milligram for other parts. So you have to cross this part here. I mean, after 7 days you have to cross them or make them like this. The next one, if you stopped any medication, you have to explain the details of why you stopped this medication. For example, here simvastatin, and you stopped it for 7 days because there is interaction with clindamycin. And you write the reason. One of bad practice or common mistakes that you write, for example, paracetamol and write it could be BO or IV or IM, by mouth or by IV or by, this is wrong because the strength of, I mean the dose will be different when you write a different route. So don't make it like morphine here 10 milligram, IV or subcutaneous or BO. So don't write this or this or this. So what you have to write? Like this. So you have to specify what's the route. If you change any medication, you have to explain why you change. So don't just write, for example, here 2.5 and cross that, then write 5 milligram. No, you have to write in indication part why you change this. The next one, if you give medication, new medication, not, I mean at admission, or not given before, you have to write it a new medication. So this is the difference between no change and the new. No change mean it's given at admission. New mean it's only now. About antibiotic part, the dates here, day number 1, day number 2 and 3, it's not the same for the next medication. So here, for this patient, he started augmentin, for example, at the 17th of September, 18th of September, 19th of September. But for clindamycin, we start from 19th. So don't just follow the construction of the table.